When is the last time you've been in a relationship? A committed relationship. Not some relationship of your own imagination. Not a situation, but a commitment between two people to be monogamous and faithful. Me too. If you're mid-generation X or below, you probably have answered that question the same way everyone else who's watching this video has answered that question. Why is that? Let me start by saying that I'm not a relationship guru, and I can't say that I found the answer. All I have are some opinions and my experiences. Welcome to the Mr. Whistle's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis the Menace. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think about this subject in the comment section. The way we meet people has changed over the last 2 decades. I remember in high school, the girls who were most likely to be your girlfriend were girls who lived in your neighborhood, girls you maybe went to church with, girls that maybe you saw on the bus on the way to school or in the carpool line or at breakfast. Outside of that, there really wasn't much opportunity for someone in high school to meet many more people than that. Your world was only as large as the people you met in real life. And during this time, in the early 2000s, everyone didn't have access to a desktop computer. And even if you did, the internet really wasn't a major thing at that point. I remember one night I stayed up really late and I kept the TV on. I really wasn't even watching the TV. I was like listening to the radio. And all of a sudden, the radio commercials and the TV commercials changed. And I saw a commercial just like this right here.
There are 3 numbers that can tell you a lot about a woman on Vibeline. The number of connections she makes, the number of messages she sends, and the number of messages she receives. Vibeline is the urban chat line where local ladies and guys can connect 24 hours a day. Vibeline is local, live, and if it's your first time, you can try it for free. So fellas, get at your girls.
Try it free, 1-800-591-8423.
Yep. For all of you who may not be in my age group, you probably have never heard of the Vibe line or Red Hot Date line. But this was a chat line where you had to call in, and depending on your area code, you would hear people close to your area. The first thing they had you do was confirm that you were 18 or older. I lied. The second thing they had you do was create an introductory message that all the ladies would hear while they were scrolling through all the men that's online. So of course you try to put your best foot forward. You lower your voice, you sound a little deeper, you sound real smooth. And because maybe you had already heard messages from other people, you kind of knew what time everybody was on. So now, with no face-to-face interactions, you said exactly what you were looking for. And eventually, somebody would give you their telephone number and send you their address. There was no mutual friends list, so you didn't know who they knew, you didn't talk about it. You went over there, maybe you talked a little bit, and then you got to work. Then walks in Craigslist. Craigslist had a section for dating, and specifically a section called Casual Encounters, which was no strings attached encounters with women in your local area. You didn't have to buy her any drinks. You didn't have to worry about Valentine's Day. You didn't have to worry about a birthday. You never met their friends. And the rest of my day could be dedicated to whatever I wanted that day to be dedicated to. Some people attribute what we see as modern dating today to Tinder and Instagram. The Vibe line started in 1990 and Craigslist started in 1995. Most of these relationships for me never turned into a serious relationship. Perfect.
Is this nigga serious?
Or at least that's what I thought.
I don't believe you.
And even though people are more connected than they've ever been, most of us aren't even interested. Especially if you're somebody who's in a financial place where you don't need anybody else. All of us have heard the conversations over the last few years from Kevin Samuels to Jordan Peterson to Shira Seven. I believe that's her name. I don't really know. I don't watch her like that. Or the Sprinkle Lady. We've seen all of the complaints about relationships. We played the blame game about whose fault it is, when the truth is both sides have fault. But we haven't been able to remedy the problem.
So I found this article from Morgan Stanley where I found this statistic about 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030. Oh, and this is great for consumerism. This is great for business. Obviously, performance and outside as consumers powering discretionary spending and GDP. So it says, based on Census Bureau historical data and Morgan Stanley forecasts, 45% of prime working age women ages 25 to 44 will be single by 2030, the largest share in history, up from 41% in 2018. So this was done in 2019. I'm wondering now if it's gone up even more. I tried to find information on it, but I really couldn't, and I didn't want to pull from a source that wasn't that great. So I just stuck with this one. Single women are expected to grow 1.2% annually from 2018 to 2030, compared with 0.8% for the overall US population. What's driving this trend? For starters, more women are delaying marriage, choosing to stay single, or divorcing in their 50s and 60s.
Common statistic. By the year 2030, 45 to 50% of women will be single and childless. Japan is having population problems. China is having population problems. The idea of coming home to somebody who wants different things than I want in that moment, it doesn't appeal to me. Selfish. Yeah, including me. And unless I happen to find somebody who fits me like a glove, the likelihood of me being in a relationship from this day forward is slim to none. When I started this video, I was clear when I said I don't have the answers. I just have opinions and my experiences. I want to know some of your experiences. I want to know your true opinions about what I've said. I want to know if you remember the Vibe line, if you remember Craigslist. I want to know if you agree with what I'm saying or disagree. Let me know in the comments. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel for future content. We'll continue this conversation from this point in future videos. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.